blown. Although towards the end of the campaign, Mark Williams here did beat him 10-4 in the Tour Championship. Table 1. As Zhu Ying, the referee, makes her entrance. This is, of course, a big crowd here. Ding has won this title twice when it was a ranking event. But it's a tough match for him. Ali Carter, of course, has won the first tournament of the season, the Championship League, so he's in great form and feeling really good. Beat Kulei, the wildcard, 6-0 yesterday. He said he struggled a bit because it was a morning match on sort of British time. It was middle of the night. He struggled a bit, but I'm surely going to feel better playing at this time. But, of course, he's up against China's greatest ever player. Well, just look at that, an absolute battery of camera phones going off for the main man here in China. Ting Junhui, Ali Carter is live on Discovery Plus.
Thank you. First frame, judge up to break.
So Judd Trump and Mark Williams for a place in the quarterfinals of the Shanghai Masters. All left-handed affair. Be interesting to see how Trump goes on. Obviously, first match in a couple of months for him since the World Championship. I'm sure he's nicely refreshed, but also looking forward to what will be, for him, a very busy season. He'll be in all the big events, of course. Starts the campaign number 2 in the world. Last season he won 5 ranking events, including 3 on the spin. Amazing thing about that, Stephen Hallworth with me. The amazing thing about that, Stephen, he didn't win Player of the Year. That shows you what a good season Ronnie O'Sullivan had.
Yeah, it was incredible, wasn't it? You just look at Judd Trump's campaign last year. It was outstanding. You know, he looked unbeatable at times. 5 tournaments, as you say. But Mark Williams went on to lift a couple himself. So we're in for a bit of a treat here. 2 heavy hitters of the game, 2 of the greatest left-handers of all time that we've ever seen. So you can expect fireworks in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an interesting match, that one at the Tour Championship, because Trump had played in the mixed doubles, which ended on the Sunday. He didn't play Williams till the Thursday. He chose to stay in Manchester. It just seemed a bit flat. That's not taking anything away from Mark's performance, but Trump was poor that day. But the overall head-to-head does favour Trump, 11 wins to 6. Including the Masters final 2023.
Yeah, I think the scoreline in that Tour Championship sort of reflected Judd as a whole, didn't it? You know, 10-4 to Mark. It's not very often, you know, that was a bit of a battering, really, wasn't it, for Judd? It's not very often you see him lose by such a margin. But the interesting thing about their head-to-head as well is that they've only ever played twice in China, and both of their meetings were in this event, the Shanghai Masters, and both of them were won by Judd Trump. So fond memories of this event in beating his opponent today. I wonder if that could play a part.
What?
You look at the intros as well this evening. This arena is incredible, isn't it? A packed house again, and just the atmosphere and everything around it. You know, the music, the adrenaline, it's all pumping. This Judd Trump's first event of the new campaign, and what a way to kick-start the season in a place like this. This is a big event. The best players in the world, this is what they all want to win. These sort of tournaments that involve the best players. This is a big occasion.
It really is. It's a great venue. It's a great tournament. Big money. All the big names in the game. So it's going to inspire the best. We saw the before we came on air, we saw the MC warming the crowd up. I promise you, she made Rob Walker look like a shrinking violet. Honestly, it was extraordinary, wasn't it? The atmosphere she was generating.
Yeah, it looked like a nightclub at one point. The strobe lights were going and everything. You don't, not something you want to see as a player just before you're about to break off. But no, it's incredible, you know, how they sort of drum up the excitement around these big tournaments, and you know, and rightly so, because these guys are superstars. Let's have it right. You know, they're some of the best players we've ever seen, and they deserve, you know, being announced like that into these big arenas. That's what it's all about. This is what the game has become now. It's growing globally. It's a great time to be a professional snooker player. So just eyeing up this little plant at the back of the pack here. He's landed low on it as well, so he's pretty much going to be bringing all the reds into play with this one shot. It's all about the cue ball. Can he get nicely on his next colour? He's got the plant, but he's lost the cue ball a fraction. He can see the black, but he's going to be hampered by the red.
Well, it's a big early shot, that.
20.
And he hasn't got it. Yeah, Trump, of course, just getting back into the swing of things, into the competitive arena. Because Williams has had a match already. He's lost the cue ball here, though, in a big way.
Wow, dear me, that is either a big misjudgment from Mark or a big bounce off the side cushion. He's overdone that by some way. And he's actually put himself in quite a lot of trouble, because that red in baulk is doing him no favours there. So what a let-off that is for Judd Trump.
Mark Williams, what?
Amongst those 5 ranking titles last season for Trump, 2 were in China, the Wuhan Open, new event, and the World Open in Yushan. Of course, the significance of Wuhan was the tournament started the day after he won the English Open. So he flew out, he had to play 2 matches in a day to catch up. Still came away with the trophy. And then a fortnight later won in Belfast.
Yeah, and you look at Judd's consistency throughout the whole of the last campaign. It wasn't just the 5 tournament wins he had. He was runner-up 3 times, semi-finalist 3 times, made 5 quarterfinals as well. That's just, you know, ridiculous consistency, isn't it? He's getting to the latter stages of pretty much every event he plays in. And, you know, that takes its toll over the course of a season. And I just wonder if that, you know, played a part in his disappointing run at the Crucible, you know, by his standards. Losing to Jack Jones in the end, no disrespect to Jack, of course. He played fantastic and showed us what a great match player he can be. But after the season that Judd had, he probably would have expected a deeper run in the Worlds.
9. 10. 17.
Right, surely he's not locked them into a plant here. If not, then there is one to the middle.
Well, he's asking for the extended rest, so that suggests that he has knocked them into a plant. He's been quite fortunate. Played to come across the face of those reds, although, as you say, he does have a red to middle, so this must be pretty much guaranteed. Otherwise, he wouldn't be entertaining it. Well, he's got the plan, but he's lost the cue ball fraction. Wanted to be much straighter on this black. He's landed a little close to the side cushion. And in doing so, he can't really do too much with the cue ball. Can only really get to the top of it, so he's just got to float this in. Played a little holding cannon off the red in the middle of the table. That was a nice shot.
Yes, and whatever
25.
caused Mark Williams to go wrong when he potted that red, losing the white immediately, it's been quite significant in this frame. Trump had missed that tricky blue when he'd been in
26.
first. Looks though like he's going to take the opener nonetheless.
Yeah, and we often talk about how important these early exchanges are, and they really are, because we saw in that game earlier on between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Zhou Jinhao, the Chinaman had a chance, only 16 years of age, had a chance to go 2-1 up, didn't he? And made an error on the yellow and pretty much sat in his chair for the rest of the match. Lost 6-1 in the end, so it's very important to capitalise on your chances early on in a match. Try and get a foothold in the game.
Yeah, just think the small mistakes that Williams made yesterday that he wasn't punished for, he's more likely to be today. So from his
37.
perspective, that's what he'll be looking to cut out, because he's well aware, of course, that Trump
38.
is more than capable of pouncing on them. Snooker needed already here. Judd Trump, 3 times runner-up in the Shanghai Masters when it was a ranking event. He
45.
led 7-2 against John Higgins in 2012, but lost 10-9. Then he trailed 7-2 to Karen Wilson in 2015, lost 10-9. And 2017, Ronnie O'Sullivan beat him 10-3 in what was actually a masterclass of tactical snooker. Just completely froze him out.
.46.
Yeah, and both in a similar kind of boat, aren't they? Neither of these players have lifted this title, invitational or ranking, so both players will be eager to get this win and try and continue a run here, try and get the name on that trophy. Box to tick for one of them.
Yeah, I think this tournament, it is like the Masters in as much as it's a bit of a statement tournament, isn't it? Because it's all top players. You can't have an easy draw or anything like that. You're going to be playing big hitters. So if you win it, it's a sign to everyone else of how well you're feeling, how well you're playing. Of course,
54.
O'Sullivan has completely dominated it the last few years. Well, it's early season. We can forgive him for not getting on the red there.
59.
Yeah, that's careless, that, isn't it? Fully expected him to flick the red out there. Oh, he's got it anyway.
It started already, the naughty snooker.
And this is what this crowd love to see, isn't it? That's why he packs out arenas, Judd Trump. These exhibition-style shots. It's what we all love.
.63. .65.
And this will make him feel good as well, Judd. He'll sort of get the crowd on his side as early as possible. Just
68.
loosening up a fraction here. Been a pretty good opening frame for him. He'll be quite happy with how it's gone.
72.
Just able to smash a few balls around the table as well.
Yeah, the first of many frames, of course, he's going to win this season, and indeed he hopes this week in Shanghai. Judd Trump leads Mark Williams 1-0. So, of course, there's 2 tables in operation here, and Ding Junhui and Ali Carter are on the other one. they are. They're still in the first frame. Ali Carter 6 points in front at the table. Yeah, I mean, that's a close match anywhere. Obviously, Ding in China's always got the sort of the crowd support, which can make a difference, but on the head-to-head, he's actually 7-2 up, so he's got a pretty handsome record over Carter. Carter did beat him in Riyadh last season. But Ali Carter's won the Championship League, so he's already got a title under his belt, the only title so far this season.
Yeah, I think Carter will be feeling good, won't he? He's one of these characters on and off the table that he's always up for the fight, he's up for the battle, and he'll see taking on Ding as a massive challenge. You know, as you say, he's the underdog. Ding's got all the crowd support, but Ali Carter won't mind that one bit.
So it is 1-0 to Judd Trump.
Second
and
frame.
Mark Williams
Mountain to
getting
break.
frame 2 underway. Just had that half chance really in the first frame, but it went wrong immediately.
Yeah, and of course, just looking back to that game Mark had yesterday, he did make a lot of errors in that match, didn't he? He wasn't punished, and you already made the point, Dave, that in a game like this against one of the game's greats, he will be punished. And you know, obviously it's different because they're top players; they're able to just switch it on and off at the flick of a button. But it can be quite difficult as a player to know, if you've come through a game that you've just battled through, you maybe don't feel like your form is quite there. It can be difficult at times to just turn it on, especially when you're playing someone like Judd, who's probably not going to gift you chances left, right, and centre. So, it'll be interesting to see how Mark can respond.
Yeah, I think as well, Trump is wary of him because, there are a few better shot makers than Judd Trump, but Mark Williams is in that category. He's an incredible shot maker, actually, and Trump's well aware of that.
So could see a little bit of a stalemate here. The two reds up in baulk doing neither players any favours here. Obviously neither can really play up into the baulk area, so it's just going to be tapping into the reds for the time being.
Foul, enemies. Got jump 4.
Yeah, Lee Walker, who's Mark Williams' good friend and coach, he told me that Mark dislikes frames like this where reds start going into baulk and suddenly the table is wide open. You're playing safety, but any minute it could switch and the other guy could get in and make a break. So he may not sort of start pushing reds down to baulk if he can help it.
Yeah, I'm with Mark on that one. I absolutely hate this type of frame as well. It's just very untidy, and I never seem to win them either, which I think is the reason why I don't like them. So we'll probably see Mark just carry on, just tapping up to the reds. Well, he's decided to try and jack the cue ball up, the cue up and get the cue ball back to the top cushion, and it's gone wrong. He's left the red to right middle for Judd. That's a big mistake from Mark.
One.
Judd Trump, the leading century break maker last season, was 79. And he's only 20 off 1,000 for his career. Of course, John Higgins is 2 away, Ronnie O'Sullivan well clear. So Trump would be the
8.
third man to do it, but he'd be by far the youngest.
Yeah, he's an incredible scorer, isn't he, Judd Trump? As you say, just 20 off the 1,000 century. That
9.
just seems incredible. And still so young as well, really. He's got the snooker world at his feet, I suppose. Already achieved so much in the game. But the mindset that this player has, just wants to continue winning.
14.
One of the problems he's got is that these legends just refuse to go away. I mean, I think if you go back a few years when Trump really broke through as a top player, if you'd fast-forwarded to this point, 2024, you could reasonably have expected the O'Sullivans and Higginses and Williamses to have declined, but they're all still very much at the top. If we go back 2 years to the World Championship, the semi-finals, it was Trump and it was those three. So he's having to battle them, he's having to battle the players of his own generation and the new players coming through.
Yeah, it's great though, isn't it? Because, you know, they're all kind of feeding off one another. Judd has sort of seen those guys growing up himself, you know, looking at that as the pinnacle.
21.
That's the level he needs to get to, and all of a sudden he sort of overtook them, and then those guys are like, right, we can't let these young guns overtake, and they're just sort of playing off one another and just continuously bringing one another on. It's incredible, and that's why the standard is just increasing all the time.
$25. $26. $30. 31.
So Trump looking to get back in amongst these reds and taking a bit of a detour down the balk end.
Yeah, he just took the chance to tidy up the balk area, didn't he? Remove those reds. And now straight away, getting into the pack from the green, he's pushed a red out. I think he can get through to it. He may just need to chuck a little bit of right-hand side just to slightly bend this cue ball around the red closest to it. Well, perhaps it's a bit more of a swerve than it first seemed.
Well, you're talking a centimetre really there to probably win in the frame. Or not from that visit.
Yeah, you talk about fractions in this game, and he was a fraction away from the perfect cannon there. He's just caught the pink. Yeah, if he catches the reds rather than the pink, they probably open a little bit wider than that. A bit more pace going through the reds. But it wasn't to be, so doing the correct thing, playing safe. And now Mark has played a little dump shot here, and he's left the tempter to left middle for Judd Trump. And in it goes.
What?
So worrying signs so far from Mark Williams for me. He's played a couple of loose shots so far in this game, and as we've already referred to, he isn't going to get away with that type of mistake against someone like Judd Trump.
No, but what you absolutely can't afford to do with Trump is just leave him openers, which he's done twice now in this frame, to either middle pocket.
$6.
And you can see there just how quick this table is.
11.
He's hardly hit that, and the cue ball has just kept running and running. Nicely on this red there. You can see the two reds closest together. I think the bottom one of the two will pass to this left corner pocket. There's one right in the middle of that cluster as well, which will go. So they're kind of all just blocking one another for the time being. As he removes one, it will open the other. 55 points to the good now. He's a couple of reds away from securing the second frame. Been the perfect start for Judd Trump. And he knows the
17.
importance of getting on top of your opponent quickly. He knows just how dangerous Mark Williams can be. One of the best players we've ever seen to pick up a snooker cue. But as is this man, Judd Trump.
Well, this red should make it 2-0. It's been pretty one-sided, this match
25.
so far. Williams knows he's just got to cut out these little errors because they're looking like big errors
26.
right now. Trump, like everybody, really is a confidence player. If he gets his confidence up, he's pretty unstoppable. And he, like all the other players here, not really know what to expect first tournament of the season, but he looks fully settled. He's adapted pretty quickly to this table. Playing some nice stuff already.
32. $37. 38.
In terms of ranking
45.
titles, 28 Trump, 26 Williams. Of course,
46.
this isn't a ranking tournament. Overall pro titles, Trump 39, Williams 35. Some big numbers. A lot of trophies there.
52. Foul. Judd Trump 52.
So Judd Trump on top early on. Remember, it's best of 11. There's a long way to go. It's 6 to reach the quarterfinals, but Trump looking good already, leading Mark Williams here in Shanghai 2-0. Well, it's a little slower going on the other side, but Ali Carter has won the first frame against Ding Junhui, made a 61 break there. And you can see nothing potted yet in the next. The red's all sort of, it's like the table's sloping somehow. But anyway, it's, I think this could be certainly a more tactical match than the one we're watching on table 2. The referee having to put the balls back, it would seem here. You can watch this, of course, on Discovery Plus. And the winner will play Ronnie O'Sullivan. So it will either be Ronnie's great friend, Ding Junhui, or it'll be Ali Carter.
Center frame. Judd Trump to break.
2-0 then to Judd Trump here in Shanghai, best of 11 to play Si Jiawei in the quarterfinals. He was very impressive earlier, beating Luca Brissell 6-2. Of course, it was Si that beat Mark Williams in the World Championship 10-9, round 1. Now then, chance at a long red for the Welshman.
One.
Well, it was a much better pot from Mark Williams. At least he got the red, but he didn't have a favourable cannon. He's in no man's land, so the good long red is only going to come to 1 point.
Mark Williams 1.
He's not really followed it up with the best safety shot he's ever played. Not really much pressure on Judd Trump here for the return. In fact, his left hand on table for Judd, and he's eyeing up this long red. and he doesn't miss them.
One.
Well, how poor was the safety shot from Mark Williams to not get the cue ball near the baulk cushion there. That was a big, big mistake, because you leave hand on table for this man, and quite often you find the ball crashing into the back of the leather.
Six.
Now you can see the black does pass
7.
these two reds just above it. He'll look to try and remove them as quickly as possible. Possibly just play for the one directly above the black now, which then gives him access to the one to the right of it. So from nowhere, this is a pretty good chance early on in this third frame for Judd Trump.
14. 15.
It's key, isn't it? You look at the best break builders in the game. They're always analysing the table, looking for the problem balls as early as possible. Judd Trump there, completely aware the two reds around the black spot were problem balls. He's quickly removed them. And now he's just looking at the reds, just trying to plan a route of how he's going to attack that pack at some stage. There is 2 or 3 reds available for him at the moment, but he's going to go into them at some stage.
23. 30.
Well, this seems a bit tighter than he certainly was hoping for.
Yeah, it was an anxious little look from Judd, wasn't it, as the cue ball came off the side cushion. Perhaps the cushion's just playing a little quicker than both player anticipates. He was okay. You can see enough of that red to just straighten it up with a trace of right-hand side. So there's a red still available with one nearest to the pink spot that will pass into this right corner pocket. Judd can just drop across onto that now.
$38. 39.
Literally a Judd Trump fan there. It's worth saying, I'm sure a lot of this is true of any venue, a lot of the spectators will be watching snooker for the first time, so they'll have seen it on the TV. It's a very different experience, any sport, when you're up close. You can see the skill up close for yourself.
46.
Yeah, and anyone that's ever played this game knows just how tough it is. And as you say, when you're there in the arena watching these top-class sports people competing and playing to the highest level, it's quite mesmerising, isn't it? Seeing just how
51.
easy they make it look. It isn't easy, I can assure you.
$52.
So that really poor safety shot from Mark Williams has been very costly indeed. These players, they score so heavy when they get in so fast.
59.
And already Judd's arrived at red and black to leave Mark only able to tie.
60.
Needs one more red after this. Apologies, no, he needs one more red anyway. Mark has the single point, so he'll be going into the reds here, Judd. And it hasn't worked out, so just a glimmer of hope still for Mark Williams in this frame. 66 points behind 67 available.
67.
Anything but a full ball cannon to that red might have been okay.
Your chop. 6-7.
Well, before he beat Trump in the Tour Championship, Mark Williams beat Tom Ford, and he did so with a miraculous break in the decider from a very unlikely position. The balls were a lot tougher than they are right now in terms of where they were.
Yeah, and Judd will be fully aware of that. There isn't anything safe at the moment, so the safety shots Judd will be playing from here on out. His main ambition will be to try and get red balls safe. And they're just trying to push a red towards the side cushion. He needs some insurance because, as you say, if Mark is able to get in and give himself a chance, they're all there for him. So Judd got a possible shot to nothing here. Can play the cue ball back to Bork, attempt the red to left corner. Yeah, and in it goes, very well played.
Yeah, you have to say he's good value for what will now be a 3-0 lead. Just getting enough scoring chances.
3.
Yeah, but I suppose if you're being ultra critical of Mark Williams so far, he has played a couple of loose shots. That safety shot a few moments ago in the previous frame as well.
4.
You know, Judd's not really having to work too hard at the minute. He's just doing what's there, taking the balls that are in front of him. Mark is going to have to turn it on and quickly if he's going to be competitive in this match, because
6.
Judd, the further ahead he goes, he's just growing in confidence.
Well, that
Your
shouldn't
chop,
make
6
any
in
difference.
frame.
He's well over the line. Yeah, Williams struggling. He's going to have to tighten up in all areas. Trump just getting too many openings, and he's making the most of them. And he's already halfway to victory, leading 3-0. So 3-0 here, but on the other table, it's a bit cagier between Ali Carter and Ding Junhui, as we're about to show you. Yeah, still 1-0 to Carter, and a bit of mileage in this frame yet. Ding 23 in front. Still 7 reds on. Ali Carter is another former winner. 2010, he won this title. Ding twice a champion. 2013, 2016. That's in the days when it was a world ranking tournament.
Frame 4. Mountains to break.
Well, we're just back underway here, frame 4, with Judd Trump leading Mark Williams 3-0. Trump snookered and going to hit the black.
Foul.
And he's left the red on, more importantly.
Mark 7.
Yeah, this is a must-win frame for Mark Williams now, isn't it? He can't afford to go into the interval 4 frames adrift in a race to 6. And that was a big misjudgment from Judd Trump, because not only did he leave the red, he was able to leave a pretty good early chance for Mark Williams, just able to nip that red in. He was quite close to it, played it nicely and perfect on the black. So this the kind of chance Mark was hoping for. He's got to make this count. It's as simple as that.
8.
Can't afford to go 4-0 down. Okay, he's Of course he's capable to come back from that sort of deficit, but against a player like Judd Trump in good form, full of confidence, it's a pretty daunting task. Chose against playing in the Championship League, the first event of the new campaign, did Judd Trump. And so far that seems to have been a good decision, was able to just fully refresh after what was a very busy campaign from last year. Mark Williams took the chance to play at Championship League.
16.
Yeah, he played some good stuff there. He got to the last group and he made 5 centuries. I said yesterday, 5 centuries in only 9 matches, very short matches. But obviously, it's a very different event.
17.
I mean, there was no crowd in Leicester. This is a much bigger occasion. And you know you've got to perform in this Shanghai Masters with the quality of the field to stand any chance.
24. 25.
Yeah, there's no hiding away, is there, at this event? Both tables, just 2 tables in action, both in this
32.
arena. You're under the lights. You know, you're fully exposed out there. There's a lot of pressure. But that's what these players
33.
live for, the pressure. They're able to deal with it in the big events on the biggest stage. Mark Williams has got to find something here, because he's not really played a part in this match so far.
Well, so far, he's found 5 reds, 5 blacks.
40.
Yeah, and a good chance to continue to stay on the black as well. The cannon to the pack is going to be key, because it's not the most inviting pack to get into, actually. Okay, they're not tightly bunched, which makes it a little bit nicer to go into them from the black. But they are quite flat, aren't they? Be interesting to see Mark's approach to this shot, if he'll leave himself high or low on this black.
$41.
Oh, wow, that is so good. What a shot Mark Williams has played there. He didn't really have the best angle on the black there. He had to force
48.
that cue ball, try and create a little bit more angle than he possibly had, but he's played it perfectly. He's on a red at the back of the cluster now. Can he avoid the cannon to the black in potting it? It's made a little bit more awkward by the fact he's cueing down over a red. It limits what he can do with the cue ball. So he's looking at other options. Yeah, and he's played that very well. Now, what a chance this is, Dave.
49.
Absolutely. Well, we've only ever had 3 maximums in Shanghai. The most recent was back in 2016, Stephen Maguire.
$56.
Well, it looks to have gone wrong pretty quickly there. He's not low on this. He's not high, sorry, on this red. He's landed low. So can he play a little cannon to pink or red to stay on the black?
The problem, isn't it, is that the frame's not over yet. It's still live.
Yeah, he couldn't.
57.
He's got to take his medicine here now. He's got to play the pink. You could see he was trying, though. He had it on his mind, didn't he?
Oh, he's looking at the black.
Yeah, he's having an argument with himself. He knows it's not the right shot, but it's what the crowd want, isn't it?
Pink's much easier. Frame's not won yet. He's 3-0 down to Judd Trump. He must feel the pink's the right shot. But he's still tempted. He's still tempted. Not enough, though.
the showman in Mark is trying to will him on to play the black, but the professional in him is telling him the pink's the correct shot. As you say, 3-0 down. He couldn't afford to take that black on. Had he missed it, he'd have left the frame for Judd. Good decision, Mark. OK, we all wanted to see the maximum, but he's got to win this frame. It's as simple as that. £10,000 for the highest break here in Shanghai. Still a possible 146 available. Current high break stands with Barry Hawkins at 141, so chance to set a good marker here.
The main thing is it looks like he has won the frame, which he needed, and also to do it in one visit. Just sends a little message to Trump, there's still a match on.
Yeah, and it's important for Mark to just concentrate and see out this frame now. Try and stay on black for as long as possible, because what that means is that someone has to basically make a magical maximum to nick the 10,000 off him. So, you know, it's a very good target to have, isn't it? You can see how disappointed he is with that one. He had so much room to get high on that red.
Eight. 93.
Well, he's disappointed, obviously, not to go on and make the century and possibly the total clearance. But the important thing is he has won the frame. He needed that just to get a foothold as the players go to the interval. So it's Judd Trump leading at the break by 3 frames to 1. Now over on table 1, Ding Junhui and Ali Carter are 1 apiece. Just about to start frame 3. Carter won the first, Ding the second. Ding Junhui and Ali Carter 1 apiece in their match. These are live pictures. They're just starting frame 3 on table 1. Ding the champion in the ranking event version in 2013 and 2016, and Carter in 2010. Been a rather cagier affair than the Trump-Williams match we've been enjoying. Winner plays Ronnie O'Sullivan, who came through, of course, against the 16-year-old earlier, Zhou Jinhao. Head-to-head favours Ding 7 wins to 2, so it's quite a healthy lead he's got, although the last meeting was in Riyadh last season. Carter won that one. Shanghai Masters really came into being largely as a result of Ding's breakthrough, because he won the China Open in Beijing in 2005. And such was the popularity of snooker in China. A couple of years later, Shanghai went to their own big event. Dominic Dale was the first winner. And so far, Dominic the only winner to sing Frank Sinatra's My Way in the victory speech. Well, this is one of those frames I was talking about that some players don't always like, when the reds go everywhere, Stephen.
Yeah, I just hate this type of frame, because I always seem to leave a tempter to middle, and they usually knock it in, and Ali has left a tempter to middle here for Ding. But they're such big shots, aren't they? Because if you miss them, you're pretty much leaving everything for your opponent. Yeah, good pot now. How's the cue ball? Oh, he's potted 2, but he is on the pink. It's a little bit awkward because it's a bit of a cut back into this blind baulk pocket. But at least he's got a shot at a colour here. The crowd loving that one. Didn't intend to pot the 2 reds, of course. Yeah, nicely done, because that was a little bit tricky. So now you can see what an opportunity this is now for Ding Junhui. He always brings such massive crowds, doesn't he? It's hard to really imagine the sort of pressure he must feel. I mean, he's made a career out of doing so well in that department, I suppose. The weight of China on his shoulders. And he's one of the main reasons that snooker is so big in Asia. He's a proper superstar, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is, and he's still obviously very much a top player. Always seems to do well at the UK Championship, doesn't he? He was runner-up again there last year. Number 8 in the world as the season begins. He got to a final in China last season, the World Open. Judd Trump beat him. Just came up short, though, at the Crucible Sujat Lazowski in a decider. Yeah, I think whatever his achievements in the game, and they are, you know, they are great. There's a long list of titles he's won. He'll also be remembered for what he's done for snooker in this part of the world, what he's been responsible for, and really laying down a great legacy that hopefully will last for many decades to come.
Yeah, and the interesting thing for me to hear, we was chatting the other day, wasn't we? And Neil Folds mentioned that, you know, back in the day, long before I was ever really involved in snooker, and you know, when I was just a child, that the standard of play in China was never really that good. And you know, you fast forward to now, and really sort of all the big talent, youngsters wise, is coming from China, isn't it? And that is basically down to Ding. You know, they all grown up watching him. You know, he's opened an academy. You know, China's absolutely thriving with youngsters that are absolute machines.
Yeah, Neil mentioned one of the early tournaments in the 80s where one of the local wildcards broke off and missed the Reds. But we've come a long way, clearly, since then. A long way.
That's one of my shots, that. Yeah, it's incredible. Even the wildcards, you know, that have been here at the Shanghai Masters, there's a couple that have played that, you know, that game earlier against Ronnie O'Sullivan, you know, Zhao Jin now, he looks a real good talent, only 16 years of old, so raw, but, you know, that he can pot a ball from anywhere. I nearly choked on my cup of tea this morning at some of the shots he was going for, but he was just pumping them in from all over without a care in the world.
Well, he's played the little cannon into them. It hasn't quite come off this, I don't think. They're just sort of covering each other by the looks of things.
Yeah, it could have been kinder, couldn't it? Because those reds have opened nicely, but he's landed very awkward, mainly due to the fact that he's hampered next to this red. So he's got this red into the right corner. It's a thin one. Cue ball's going to be travelling. Yeah, and this time he hasn't been fortunate. He's not had a good cannon. And now he's in a spot of bother.
Well, we're about to take a break on Eurosport, so we'll be back in time for Judd Trump and Mark Williams. Remember, it's 3-1 there to Trump at their interval. But Ding and Carter will continue on Discovery+. Yeah, it's amazing how just a little bit of running can go against you. He played what looked like a nice little cannon into the Reds, and if you get someone, he surely wins the frame. But he was left an awkward one. It was hard to control position, and now, you know, he's actually only 38 in front.
Well, he's played a very clever shot there, Ding, because it looked like it was difficult for him to gain an advantage from that position. Played it nicely just to stun the cue ball in behind the brown to stop Ali Carter from having access to these reds in the balk area. Very, very clever safety shot, that. And that's key when playing safe against the best players in the world. You're looking to try and force the mistake. And what Ding's done there is just asked Ali Carter the question, can you return? Carter not really able to do anything other than just play the containing shot. That's the trouble, I suppose, when frames do go a little bit like this from the start, when players are both, you know, knocking reds all around the table, trying to get back to the top cushion. If you do break down when you get that initial chance, it makes for a very messy table. Not very many places to hide the cue ball.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'll be amazed if this match is not 6-4 or 6-5 later on. It just feels like it's going to be close. It's already cagey.
Yeah, another good pot to middle from Ding from the side cushion. Never easy then when you know you're going into other balls. Not really fully in control of where the cue ball's going to land. But he has got a shot at this black. And this now the big shot. Yeah, nicely done.
Frame 5. Chance to break.
So Judd Trump and Mark Williams back underway, with Judd Trump leading 3-1. He led 3-0. Williams made 93. Could have made more, but the main thing is he won that frame in a single visit and is on the scoreboard, having just made a few too many errors in the first 3 frames. Again, I think the nature of this tournament means that Trump, you know, at 3-0 he was looking good, feeling good, but the fact he's playing Williams, he's not taking anything for granted here. It's not just a question of coasting through. He's going to have to win 3 more frames and he's going to have to stop his opponent from scoring. Straight away, Mark Williams with a terrific red there.
Yeah, that was so good because he had so much left-hand side on the cue ball there. He's been so unfortunate to find the ball pocket. Look at the left-hand side he's had to put on this cue ball to come round the back of the black. Makes the red very missable. And then to find the corner bag is so unfortunate. Mark will have been very disappointed with how this match started, but at least he went to the interval with some positive thoughts. That was a good contribution he made in the frame just before.
John Wee, meanwhile, has gone 2-1 up against Ali Carter on table 1.
Well, Judd was in trouble there, wasn't he? He was tight underneath that baulk cushion and didn't really have many options of routes back to baulk, so had to play that red thin. He was going the 2-cushion route, unable to avoid the blue, so he's left Mark with a chance. Not an easy chance, though. The black is tied up well. He's overcut the red, and that's amazing. I can't believe he's overcut that.
One.
And this time a misjudgment from Judd Trump. So a little bit of a cagey start to this 5th frame. Now, what will Judd decide to do here? He's got reds available, but the brown surely too thin. Can't attempt the green. Big target to get the cue ball in behind the green and brown.
The trump 1.
So Mark's got to catch this red very thin. If he doesn't, the jaws of the corner bag could come into play. Well, he has caught it thin, but he's pushed the red towards the right corner. And one which I'll be very surprised not to see Judd Trump go for. Well, the red to right corner is available, but Judd's eyed up a plant just beneath the pink spot. And he's got it.
One.
But has he been unfortunate again? The pink won't pass the blue. Or is there just enough room to creep it in that middle pocket? Oh, well, there was, and that's a great shot from Judd Trump. Now he's away. Took the decision there to play that plant because felt that positional from the red over the pocket was not straightforward.
8.
Played a couple of plants in this game, hasn't he? Doesn't mind taking on the big shots. He's a proper shot maker, isn't he? Okay, those reds were pretty dead set to that corner. But still, there's always that little bit of doubt in your mind. If you don't catch them right, it could turn it. Played it nicely.
Yeah, this was the problem at the Crucible. It was the opposite against Jack Jones. He just went into his shell completely. And then when chances came along, he just couldn't take them. He just had no fluency, no rhythm. But of course the World Championship is just a different event, you know, the multi-sessions, matches that can last 3 days. Everyone has struggled there at some time. Last season, all the players that struggled were the ones who'd done well all season, and the players that did well, the opposite side of the coin, had poor seasons and then some kind of redeemed themselves in Sheffield. We'll see Karen Wilson tomorrow, of course, the champion.
Something.
Yeah, and Judd has just sort of wriggled his way into a good scoring chance here, hasn't he? Got the pink spot open now. He's happy to leave that black tied up. Pink available into a couple of pockets. Happy to just work in this area now. Probably the perfect ball really to have available, because you have access to more pockets than the black. There's plenty of reds in open play
18.
for Judd to see out this frame. It's a big frame. It's one that Mark really needs to win to keep his hopes alive. He's just sort of clinging on to Judd at the minute, and that's all he is doing, clinging on.
Yeah, well, he had the chance, didn't he? But, I mean, he grossly overcut that red to left corner, just when it looked like it might be the start of something, having made 93 in
24.
frame 4.
$25. $31. $32. $38. $39.
So if he's straight or low on the red just above the black, it may be wise to take
45.
that now. Just gives him another red to remove from the table. Obviously he's got the red over the right corner, but needs to just be mindful of his positional play. Get nicely on the pink.
46.
Yeah, he's played it pretty well. So clinical, aren't they, when they get into this sort of position? He can smell blood as well, and he knows how important this opportunity is. He needs to keep Mark cold, keep him in his seat for as long as possible. Doesn't want to give him either a glimmer of hope.
No, I think this is where the game has changed over the years. Players now are so determined to kill frames off in one visit.
52.
You know, you go back maybe 40 years, it was sort of make 40, player safety, make another 40. Obviously there were centuries as well, but the weight of scoring has certainly massively gone up over the years.
53.
And it's key to the modern game, isn't it? It's impossible to get to the top of snooker these days if you don't score heavy. It's as simple as that. When you get your chance, you've got to kill off the frames, because it's what the best players in the world do. The scoring ability is just incredible.
Well, he played a nice shot to get on the black, so snooker's required.
Sixth.
Yeah, I think this is, in a way, Stephen Hendry's legacy. He came into the game and, as a young man, basically just took everything on. And it was a kind of different approach, really, to what had been seen before. But, of course, all these guys grew up watching him.
Yeah, it's been a very nice visit to the table, this, from Judd Trump, because he's had a few problems to solve. There was a little puzzle that sort of needed working out around this pink spot, and he's dealt with it quite beautifully. This has been a really well-constructed break.
68.
Is Judd Trump going to make his first century of the season here? For a while it looked like he might get to 100 last season. He ducked out of a couple of tournaments late on just because he was playing so much snooker, so he ended on 79, which is still plenty. It's more than plenty, actually.
75.
Yeah, the season where we could see Judd himself get to 1,000 centuries,
82.
along with inevitably John Higgins.
83.
just beautiful to watch, isn't he, when he's in full stroke. There's just something about a left-handed player for me, both of these guys, when they're in full flow and just floating around the table. It's just
85.
effortless.
87.
And again, I'll reiterate what I mentioned yesterday about the conditions here in Shanghai. They look fantastic.
90.
In years gone by, it can be quite heavy in China due to the moisture in the atmosphere. That all plays a part in how the table plays. The scoring this week so far has reflected that. There's been a lot of one visits this game. Every frame there's been a break over 50. You know, the scoring's been very high. And I think when the conditions are right, it encourages that, because these guys are so good.
99.
So this pink then for century number 1 of the campaign for Judd Trump. Big frame to win. Mark Williams did have the chance. He overcut that red initially, and Judd Trump has done the rest.
Judd Trump. 112 on the frame.
112 from the world number 2. Judd Trump extends his lead here, and he's just 2 away from a place in the quarterfinals of the Shanghai Masters. He leads Mark Williams 4-1. Ding with a chance to make it 3-1 against Ali Carter, 2-1 up, 25 in front at the table in the next there. So just looking to open a 2-frame gap. Talk about scoring, I mean, there's few better than Ding in terms of how he goes about break building.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest cue ball control players of all time, isn't he? When he gets in and amongst them, his cue ball control is magnificent.
Well, he's going to need red and a colour to leave Carter needing a snooker. Well, just waiting for Mark Williams, but Judd Trump feeling good about things. 112 the break there. And I mean, every frame's big, but certainly the next one is, isn't it? Because if he gets to 5, it's going to be very hard to see him losing this match.
Yeah, in a race to 6, you know, Mark's hope is that Judd doesn't get to 5, because in the remaining frames you'd fancy Judd to at least get a chance in the balls. And from what we've seen so far already today, he's in a pretty mean mood, isn't he? He's got his scoring boots on. He looks like he's wanted to just bury Mark Williams as quickly as possible now.
Well, Ding, meanwhile, it looks like he's over the line, or just about anyway. Snooker needed here to lead 3-1. Well, a little bit of hope for Carter. That red hangs on. Well, not now. He was snookered and he's going to concede. So 3-1 it is to Ding at the interval. Well, as popular as Mark Williams is, those cheers were for Ding going to the interval. But there'll be a lot of support for Williams to make this closer.
76. Mark Williams to break.
Starts with this frame. He's 4-1 down. He opened the reds there, isn't he? That's kind of the opposite of the that break he was playing a few years ago when he just rolled into the back of them. The key thing, of course, is not to leave a long one on.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad break-off, really, was it? Because he's cut off pretty much all the reds, bar one for Judd Trump. So he had to catch that very thin with a lot of right-hand side, and he's done well there. Right-hand side to try and avoid the double kiss on the red in going back to balk. So there's a little corridor for Judd to try and find here if he plays off the side of the pack. He's got to avoid the three reds to the right of the table. Looks a natural angle. It's all about pace, this shot. Needs a good cue ball. Now is the yellow going to come to his rescue because he's pushed a red over the left corner pocket. From Mark's body language you can see this red. Now can he get on a colour? Cue ball looks to be heading into the reds. Yeah, and it was, so he's not on anything but the blue to corner pocket. And it's a big shot because these reds have spread nicely. It's a shot he's got to take on as well. Probably knock this in all day in practice. Of course, this isn't the practice table, but the best players in the world, they don't often miss them. Nice pot from Mark Williams.
6.
Well, he's gone a little too far for the red that he intended to, so he's going to have to take the outer one of these two. A more difficult pot, but he's dealt with it nicely again.
7.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing Mark Williams hasn't seen on a snooker table. This is a man who was 9 each on a respot at the Wembley Conference Centre in the Masters final with Stephen Hendry and won.
Again, just look at how quick the bed of the table is playing. He looked like he was going to drop perfectly on the three reds beneath the pink spot, and it just kept on rolling, didn't it?
Yeah, he's just trying to establish prime position, isn't he? Then it's a great chance to pull one back.
When the conditions are this good and the speed of the table is as it is, it just really sort of highlights your cue ball control. You don't want that cue ball racing around the table because you can
13.
soon come unstuck.
He did well to get his money for that Masters title, by the way, because there was another Mark Williams on tour, and the WPBC at the time, this was in the days of checks in the post, and it went to the other one. It was only 155 grand though, so, you know. But
21.
thankfully, he did return it.
Didn't try and do a runner with it.
That's why he became Mark J. Williams. I mean, his middle name is James, but
28.
the J came into being on scoreboards and so on because of that.
$29.
Well, this is a glorious opportunity now for Mark Williams, isn't it? The reds are spread nicely. He's got the black available into one of the corner pockets for the time being, but the reds, there's no real reason to play any cannons. He's gone a little bit far on this blue, so may play a little holding cannon if he chooses to, but can just drift past the reds as well. He's got options here. Yeah, chose to play the holding cannon. It looked like it couldn't really go wrong, and it hasn't. Important to not play that shot with too much pace as well. Didn't want to push anything safe, just hold the cue ball in the middle of the table. Again, another demonstration of Mark's control. Well, there's a phone going off in the arena, and it's gone off 3 times now. I think it's an alarm. The referees are struggling to. Referee is struggling to work out where it's come from.
Alarm bell's literally ringing.
$35. 请把你的手机调一下。
Yeah, I think what he was saying there was, can someone turn that off, please?
$42.
Again, though, Mark doing his best here to not let it distract him, because this is a key visit to the table. He found himself in similar positions in his game yesterday, and his cue ball just let him down at times. He kept asking himself little questions with pots that were tougher than they should have been. So far, so good at this visit.
50. 51.
This is where concentration is key, because you can hear there is a little bit of background noise. The other table are at their interval, so there is movement across the other side of the arena. There's a lot of people watching Ding over there. But Mark's got a job to do here. He's got to stay in the zone, stay focused.
Well, he's only a couple of balls now
66.
from winning the frame.
Well, he stayed with that one, didn't he? It was just gone in off the far jaw.
No, it's been a good visit. The blue early on was big. As you say, you know, you fancy him for it, but under pressure, 4-1 down to Trump. Possibly going 5-1 down if he misses it. He had to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big shot so early on in the break, but they were all there for him, but he still had to stand up and take them. And we'll reiterate, it's key that Mark keeps Judd away from getting to 5, because surely if he gets to 5, he will have a chance at some point to see out the match.
Mark Williams 74 in the frame.
2 snookers needed. Trump's not interested though, so Mark Williams, a pretty quick kill in that frame. And he pulls one back in what is a very entertaining contest here. Judd Trump now leading 4-2. That alarm, I think, is still going off actually, but Zheng Weili, the referee, looking rather quizzically wherever it's coming from. Didn't seem to put Mark Williams off though. This was earlier on, this sort of double that became a treble. Crowd absolutely loved that, didn't they? People absolutely in awe. Superb. And this is in the other match, Ding and Carter. Yeah, I mean, that was such a big shot. He's knocked another one in, but I think always in that position where the reds are spread, that initial shot is so big because you're going to be leaving something on, surely, if you miss it. Had to land on a colour, he was on the pink. And he was unlucky here, really, Williams. It was a great pot with a lot of side, but The cue ball found the yellow pocket.
Frame 7. Judge up to break.
So 4-2. Mark Williams back in business after that 74 in the last. Still trailing though. 3-1 to Ding against Ali Carter. They're just about to come back from the interval on table 1. That will be on Discovery Plus when they resume.
So Mark came round to have a little look at the black. He's going to be going for this red. Well, he's missed it, and the red's gone into the pack. Now, what's the damage? No, it looks okay. For a minute there, that red going through the reds, it's quite often you see a ball be pushed on. He's not left anything easy for Judd, if anything. So Mark just looking at screwing this red closest to the side cushion into the pack and getting the cue ball back to balk. Joe's against it, so just rolling up the red down the rail. Felt he couldn't really gain much of an advantage from that position. Well, again, Judd Trump catching the blue from a safety shot, trying to swing the cue ball around the back of the black, lots of side. He made contact, and a pretty full contact with the blue, so Mark now eyeing up this red to right corner. Just wonder if after that previous visit, it just feels like he's growing back into this game again.
One.
He was being phased out for quite a while in the early exchanges of this match. Well, he's missed the pink with the rest, but at first glance, there's nothing straightforward for Judd. The pink seems to have covered the red that Mark was intending to lay on. Now, is there another plan? The red's just above the black, pretty close. There is a single red as well, which may pass. Oh, it's the plant, and he's got it. Oh, we might have to nickname Judd the Gardener soon. He's taken on so many plants in this game, and he's got all of them so far.
Yeah, that pink was rather unexpected. The miss. There was a loud groan in the audience, and Williams, you could see, was pretty upset as well. He's just finding a way back into this match.
Five.
Now, can Judd get on the black from potting this red? He'll have to leave himself pretty low on it. And his next shot from potting the black to his next red isn't straightforward, but it's a chance to open the black spot up if he can. Doesn't look to be a lot of room there, does there, for the black? So choosing against it.
6.
Well, it's safe to assume Ding and Ali have resumed next door. You can hear the applause. That's live on Discovery Plus. 3-1 to Ding.
The problem ball here for Judd is the red next to the black, isn't it? Because that black is out of commission for the time being. There are a few reds available for Judd, though. Well, he's had a right result there because he's had a little brush cannon on the cluster of reds and he's landed absolutely perfect on this problem ball, which I just referred to. He didn't play that. He's played to open the reds up, but he's landed absolutely A1 on this red now.
10.
At any level, a little bit of luck here and there makes a massive difference, but the ability that these guys have, it can be pretty colossal, can't it? This now a good scoring chance for Judd Trump. He's got the black right where he wants it. In a couple of shots' time, this could be a frame-winning chance.
16. 17.
Again, just a little bit of thinking required here for Judd Trump. The reds are kind of just covering one another. There are a couple that he can play onto, but at some stage he will need to play a little cannon just to push a few more into play. Well, he played the cannon to the pink there and he's missed it, but he has got the red to left corner. He's going to have to play it with the rest, though.
24.
If he catches the pink there, he's on the red to right corner.
$25. 32.
Well, it's all very congested, isn't it, around the pink spot? Still plenty of work to be done for Judd. He needed to pop that and he hasn't. So, it just started to get a little bit tricky, didn't it? They was all covering one another, a few little cannons required. Very tight little space there for him to play in. And in missing the red to middle, he has opened a few more for Mark Williams. So what a chance for a counter-attack. Four-two with a chance to make it 4-3.
6.
Then the game is well and truly on, isn't it? 5-2, and I think, you know, we all kind of expect Judd to just see out the match. It will take something special from Mark Williams to come back from that deficit. This is a huge visit to the table now for Mark Williams.
7. 14.
Well, that's gone wrong. Played the cannon, he's not on the red. Trying to recover with a double, which he's done brilliantly.
15.
Wow. What a shot that is from Mark Williams. Possibly a little bit of frustration in that shot as well, because the cannon to the pink he didn't expect, and it was really awkward, covered the red that he was intending to play on, but just got down, as he does, so nonchalantly and just knocks the double in.
23.
Ooh, but then he misses that one.
Mark Williams, 23.
Wow. Well, he missed a pink early with the rest, but if anything, maybe just slightly took his eye off that one.
Well, look at how quickly he was up as well. He was pretty much walking, wasn't he? Goodness me, what a mistake that is from Mark Williams at such a big time in the match.
1.
God, Judd was out of his chair like a whippet there. He, as well as us, could not believe that mistake from Mark Williams. A routine pink to middle. I can only assume he's just taken his eye off it.
Six.
Yeah, Judd taking the chance there to go into the reds from the red. It looked like it was impossible to go wrong with the pink being where it was. So one good shot here, positional shot to land on his red, and we could be looking at 5-2.
Yeah, and the disappointment for Williams, if that happens, is that he recovered so well with that double when he looked like he'd lost his way. But then, very unexpected miss on the pink.
14.
Well, that's not the best shot from Judd. He had to be high on that on the pink, sorry, to just play a nice little stun shot over the side of the table for the reds into the right corner pocket. It now looks like he's going twice across here. Touch of side to try and straighten the cue ball up. He couldn't get close to these reds, so now this is missable.
Looking up at the scores, he's 28 in front. Another big shot in this big frame. Yeah, very good.
21.
Yeah, that's a very nice pot from Judd Trump. You could see him just sort of hold that position at the table there, just saw it in all the way, fully committed to that red. He knew that that was the ball that was probably going to see him over the line in this frame. And Judd doing what all the best players do.
24.
An uncharacteristic miss from Mark Williams, and he's pounced.
Yes, it feels like the biggest frame so far, because Williams did have his chance, but now he's going to have to win the last 4 to stop Judd Trump progressing to a quarter-final meeting with Si Jiahui.
$27. 29. 32. 36.
Well, the referee seems to be struggling with a bit of a cold, but Judd Trump looking fit and healthy as this
41.
new season begins. The pink is bullied off the table. It was the pink that played its part. Mark Williams missed it twice, once with the rest, but then more seriously to the middle. And Judd Trump has stepped in, and he leads 5-2 with one more needed for victory. So we can go over to the other table, where it's 3-1 to Ding Junhui against Ali Carter, but Ding with a good chance here for 4-1. 55 in front, so moving towards a meeting with Ronnie O'Sullivan, which I suspect it will be well attended, I would imagine, here in Shanghai.
Yeah, I think there might be a few in for that one. Looked like it was going to be a very cagey game, this, didn't it? How it started, the first couple of frames took quite a while, just sort of took a moment to get going this match, but Ding looks like he's found his stride.
Yeah, it'll be Thursday in this session, so the night session Thursday, O'Sullivan will play the winner of this match. Obviously Ding's not through yet, but a good chance certainly for 4-1. They played that great UK Championship final in York last season, and many other matches as well. Now on table 1, Ding needs this red to lead Ali Carter 4-1. So he's pulling away because Carter actually won the first frame, but Ding looking good. Once he starts scoring, you know, he's very hard to stop. A sort of more tactical game might not suit him, but he's managed to start making the breaks in this match. And a chance to set up a quarter-final against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, I love watching Ding play. When he's in amongst them, he just is one of the best in the world, isn't he? Anyone that doesn't like watching Ding Junhui when he's at the table doesn't like snooker, because he is just so majestic in and around the business end of the table.
Well, they're certainly enjoying it, the crowd here in Shanghai. Of course, there's been considerable Chinese success already, including Chao Jin, the wildcard, who beat Jack Jones, the world finalist, earlier. Pang Zhongzhu beat Gary Wilson. Of course, Si Jiahui beat Luca Brissell earlier today. Shou Yulong yesterday as well, absolutely brilliant against Barry Hawkins. Had 3 centuries in a row. Made a great clearance late on as well. And he'll play the world champion Karen Wilson tomorrow. We're just waiting, by the way, for Judd Trump to return to the arena before we can start frame 8 on table 2. Well, Trump is returning, but clearly Ding has won that frame, so he's going to be 4-1 up.
Frame 8. Maurice to break.
Well, we saw a big 7th frame there. It was won by Judd Trump, so he leads 5-2. Mark Williams will need to now win the last 4 to stay in this Shanghai Masters.
Yeah, it's now or never, isn't it, for Mark Williams in this year's Shanghai Masters. Last frame, the only frame of the match so far which failed to register a break over 50, but quite possibly the biggest frame of the match. A couple of missed pinks from Mark proved very costly. He has just been prone to that odd mistake, hasn't he, so far in this tournament. We saw in his opening match as well a few mistakes. Okay, he wasn't punished, but you aren't going to keep getting away with them, especially against the best players in the world, and he has made mistakes today. Well, I'm sure Judd Trump will be pretty content with how he's performed. Breaks of 72, 52, 67 and that 112.
What?
It's a pretty good performance so far, but he's got to see out this match. and he wants to try and do it as quickly as possible. Doesn't want to let Mark Williams at least try and get a glimmer of hope in this game, try and grow back into this match. Yeah, it's gone wrong. It looked natural that the cue ball was going to make contact with the yellow there. Couldn't dig down enough on the cue ball to avoid that, being so close to the side cushion.
Good grief. Well, you didn't know where to look there. There was a red heading towards the yellow pocket, but one went in the right corner. And, I mean, he got nowhere near the red initially. Then reds were just running, and one went in.
Wow. That is a Judd Trump special, isn't it? Deary me. You can't account for that. That was outrageous.
Nine.
It's quite annoying, isn't it, how good they are, but how much run they get as well.
10.
Well, the thing with flukes, they're not always significant, but sometimes, you know, that could be the start of the winning break in a match, which means obviously it would be significant. Mark Williams can't do anything about it. It's up to Judd Trump to make the most of the luck.
Yeah, and he'll sense that, won't he? He knows, okay, he's had a massive fluke there, but it's what he does from now that is going to count. You know, he's played well in this game so far. He's been good for a 5-2 lead. I just wonder how much of that performance yesterday from Mark Williams in his opening match has had an effect on his mindset coming into this game, because, as we say, he came through that game. It wasn't comfortable, but he got the job done. And I referred yesterday to sort of how the players may be feeling, and you know, if Mark could have probably blitzed that guy yesterday and came here full of confidence, it might have been a different outcome, but he sort of just scrambled over the line in the end. And, you know, I'll say again, they can turn it on pretty quickly, the best players in the world, but I just wonder how much that performance yesterday didn't really fill Mark with much confidence coming into this match.
Yeah, I saw Williams tweeting earlier about how he was, you know, had the jet lag,
22.
was up early and all the rest of it, but he certainly wouldn't be alone in that as part of travelling. He might be travelling home tomorrow. It was a very outrageous fluke. He nearly fluked two, actually, which would have just been rubbing it in, but it was bad enough that one went in.
I
think if you're to analyse Mark Williams' whole tournament here in Shanghai, for me he's just lacked that little bit of intensity. Even when he's been at the table, he's been, I know
29.
he's always quite casual, isn't he? He's very laid back, but he's been overly so. And he's missed the odd ball and made the odd mistake, which have proved very costly. But yeah, we've seen a couple of outrageous flukes actually so far. There was a couple yesterday as well, but that one probably tops the lot, because it is probably going to be a frame and match winner.
I don't know, I think maybe Zhou Jinhao's black to beat Zhang Anda, because that was literally the last ball of the match. Pretended the double, didn't it? It flew in a corner.
It was Zhang Anda's reaction as well for me. He was absolutely 41. Spewing, wasn't he, when he saw that go in? The handshake was so stern.
42.
But it's all part and parcel of the game, isn't it? You get them going for you, you have them going against you. It's what you do with it. And so far, so good for Judd Trump. He's taken these nicely. He's just got to keep his composure here.
Yeah, and
48.
just as big a shot as the fluke red from him was the missed pink from Williams in the last frame, because that is what left them at 5-2. Could easily have been 4-3, and then you know, it's suddenly tense and close and anyone's match.
Yeah, and I think Mark, being the professional he is and the character he is, he's been around obviously for so long. He's seen everything there is to see in this game. He'll, you know, if you was to ask him about the fluke at the end of the game,
55.
he probably won't even refer to it. I can guarantee he'll mention the pink he missed in the previous frame, because that's just how they look at it. You know, he had the chance to close the gap
56.
to 4-3, failed to do so, and then sometimes the balls just dictate, don't they? The game can just crucify you at times. The fact Mark missed that opportunity, possibly snooker's way of telling him, you know, you've had your chance, and then everything can run against you. It's just how the game goes.
61.
Well, this red should see Judd Trump home. So it was a big fluke, no doubt about it. And he's made the most of it.
62.
Had such a good season last year. 5 ranking titles, including 3 in a row. He'd love to win the Shanghai Masters, though. He's been in 3 finals when it was a ranking event. Yet to get his hands on the
68.
trophy. But he's been impressive today. First match of the season. You're not quite sure what to expect. A little bit of rust
69.
maybe coming into a new campaign. But overall, he scored well. He's looked good.
Yeah, he'll be very, very pleased with his performance, Will Judd. You don't want to absolutely fly in your first match. He'll be looking to try and grow into this event, but he's put in a really solid
74.
shift here today. Scored very nicely when he's got in. He's looked well in control of himself and his emotions. It's just been a really
75.
workmanlike performance from Judd Trump. Very impressive.
Yeah, he had 72, 52, 67 first 3 frames, 112 in the 5th. And now this match-winning break in the last.
Fantastic, look at that. He's had a little
77.
cannon to the black as well, just to push the other red into play. Superb from Judd Trump. And this is where he really comes into his
78.
own, doesn't he? The frame and match well and truly won. We'll probably see him fizzing a few balls around. And why not? It's what this crowd wants to see.
Yes, luck helps, obviously, but
84.
with Trump, as with all great players, it's 99% skill.
85.
Yeah, and he'll make sure of the century first before he starts flying that cue ball around the table.
92.
Yellow, green and brown
94.
for his 2nd century of this match.
$97.
Yeah, he's finished on a high. And he'll surely be very
Well,
satisfied with his first match of the season. 2 centuries and victory over Mark Williams.
106.
Yeah, and here comes the exhibition snooker. Fantastic performance from Judd Trump. Very well played. He's brushed Mark Williams aside with ease today.
112.
Yeah, the missed pink in frame 7 was big. The fluke was big.
112.
But it was a big performance in the end from Judd Trump. He finishes with his 2nd century of the match, and he's off and running here at the Shanghai Masters. He'll take on Si Jiahui in the quarterfinals. He looks very happy with his night's work, and the crowd enjoyed it as well. So in the battle of the left-handers, it's Judd Trump who comes out on top. He's beaten Mark Williams by 6 frames to 2. Now, that's not the end of our coverage, because we've got the other match, of course, between Ding Junhui and Ali Carter. It's 4-1 to Ding, as you can see. So he has pulled away there. Ali Carter won the first frame with the break of 61. Ding he won a couple of tight frames, but then made 79 in the 5th, so 4 on the spin. Carter just holding on at the moment, trying to find a way back into proceedings. He's one of those, he's sort of back in his seat there before the balls have stopped running.
Yeah, the body language from Carter doesn't look good so far today, does it? We've just been dipping in and out of that match so far, and yeah, it looks like his emotions are just getting the better of him. He's never shied away from showing us exactly how he feels out there. That's why I personally love watching Carter play, because he wears his heart on his sleeve. Their head-to-head earlier, Ding and Ali Carter. The most recent meeting, Carter won 4-3 in the Saudi World Masters, but in their career meetings they've only ever played 2 matches over a best of 11. The last 32 are the 2019 UK champs and the 2009 quarter-finals of the UK Championship. Both those matches were won by Ding. So from that information, the longer the match seems to favour Ding, which is quite a strange stat, really. The fact they've only ever played 2 matches over an 11. And here again, Ding well and truly in the box seat.
I always think the head-to-heads are interesting. You know, you look at, for example, Ronnie O'Sullivan. I mean, he's ahead against most people, but he trails, for example, Alexander Ursenbacher for whatever reason. As Ding misses that ping. And Stephen Hendry in his pomp, famously, his head-to-head with Mark Johnston Allen was 0-3. He lost all 3 to Mark. He wasn't happy with that one, was he? Stage, your good pal Peter Lyons, he had a winning record against all 3 of the class of 92, Mark, John and Ronnie.
Yeah, he did, that's right. That is some record, isn't it? Go on, Pete. Yeah, Ali choosing to play an aggressive safety shot there. Just try and promote a few of the Reds closer to this right side of the table. He's done so. Well, the cue ball going in the pocket may not have been a bad thing for Ding, but look where the red's gone. The red has travelled up to baulk and he's left one, albeit very thin, for Ali Carter. Now, can he get the cue ball on that yellow spot and see enough of the white? Yeah, he's okay. Massive frame this for Carter. He has to win this to keep his hopes alive in this game. He's not really played too much of a part in this match so far. It's been pretty cagey stuff, but Ding has just been coming out on top. Of course, he's had the best start to the season so far, hasn't he? Ali Carter was Championship League champion a few weeks ago over in Leicester. A lot of snooker he played coming into this event, so he'd been feeling pretty good about his game. Regardless of the event, it's always nice to leave with the trophy, isn't it? So, you know, he can't say that his preparation for this event has been poor. It's been perfect. It's just not quite clicked today for him. But one thing you will get from Carter is that he'll fight to the very end, won't he? He'll never give up. So even if Ali takes 4 reds and 4 pinks here, he still will need that remaining red that's close to the black. He'll have one eye on that at some stage. Yeah, you can see he's just not happy, is he? He's just losing his cue ball a little bit. Every shot is just becoming a little bit more difficult than it should have been. Just throws his mini butt into his chair. That's Ali's way of, you know, dealing with things out there in the arena. Just trying to release a bit of energy.
Yeah, it's like he's sort of constantly walking an emotional tightrope. Living every moment.
Yeah, you get the feeling he's always one shot away from erupting, don't you? And that could be it.
Well, the way it's finished, the white. It was kind of coming that, wasn't it? As you say, he just lost ideal position. In the end, he couldn't quite get tight to the blue either.
Yeah, he's quite happy to leave Ding with a shot at this red, actually, because, as I mentioned, he needs that red, so he's quite all right with allowing Ding to promote it for him. Had to make sure he covered the red on the right side of the table. Ding's done a good job to control the red off the black there. He's played a good shot, Ding. He's put Ali in trouble. Had to catch that red thin.
Well, another key passage of play here. 4-2 or 5-1. I mean, even 4-2, Carl's in trouble, but he had a golden chance really earlier in this frame, and it just went wrong. Oh, wow. Well, we were talking about key flukes in the Judd-Trump match, and look at that.
Wow, another outrageous fluke, and I can't imagine that will do Ali Carter's mood any favours. It'd be nice to get an angle of Carter, because I can't imagine it'd be too nice to see. There you see the red just brushing off the pink, finding the corner pocket. And he's got, if he can land himself perfect on this red, he's trying to get as close to it. That doesn't look good. That's a terrible shot from Ding. What a mistake that is.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with the Trump fluke, is what you make from it. And Ding has made a mess of it, basically, within a couple of shots.
God, he's had such a big target to play on there, Ding. He'll be absolutely fuming with himself, because he could have just landed on that red and then just dollied it down the rail with the pink ready and waiting for him. He knows it. I bet he wish he could have that one back.
Well, the referee had to stand where she stood, but it was bang on target, you could see, as the cue ball was approaching.
He had a possible chance for Carter to lay this cue ball in behind the pink. Yeah, nicely played. Now Ding's in big trouble, because not only has he got to hit this red, he's got to get it safe. And notice where Carter's left that red. He's controlled it perfectly, intentionally putting it close to a baulk colour to give Ding more obstacles, the possibility of a free ball as well, should he not make contact. Clever shot from Carter.
So it looks like that fluke is not going to be significant. Yellow and green needed for 4-2. Well, it was a nasty snooker he laid behind that pink. And it's effectively won him the frame. Well, it was an important frame to win, to stay in touch. He's still trailing, of course, but Ding yet to get to 5. Ali Carter holding on here, trailing 4-2. Now then, tomorrow we'll be on air, of course, bright and early. Mark Allen, Pan Zhou. Mark Allen starting the season as world #1, only the 12th player to hold that status. Mark Selby also in action against Cao Jian of China. And then the second session, Sean Murphy against John Higgins. Of course, Higgins is on 998 centuries. He made 2 in his first match, so could he get to 1,000 tomorrow? And Karen Wilson, the world champion, he did play in the Championship League, so he's already had a few outings as world champion, but he's up against Zhou Yulong. So some real big hitters in action tomorrow. It's 4-2. Su Ding Junhui against Ali Carter, last 16 of the Shanghai Masters. The winner plays Ronnie O'Sullivan, who beat 16-year-old Zhou Jinhao 6-1 earlier today. And that's his 20th match win in a row in the Shanghai Masters.
It was an important frame that for Carter to win, wasn't it? Needs to keep Ding away from 5. He's just sort of clinging on in this match. But the longer you keep your opponent away from just needing the 1 frame, you always feel like you're in it.
Yeah, Carter's looked a bit frustrated with his performance. So it's about battling, but again, he won't be happy with that one.
Yeah, he's possibly just struggling with conditions, Carter. Not so much that they're not good, it's possibly down to the fact he feels he's not striking the ball as he probably would have liked. We saw at the end of that frame, he sort of overscrewed a couple and just lost the white on the odd occasion. The conditions look absolutely spot on here in Shanghai. But sometimes as a player, if you're not quite striking the ball correctly, the tables can catch you out. Absolutely packed arena as well for this match. It was always going to be, wasn't it, with the main man, the superstar, Ding on display. What an occasion it could be if he could come through this match to take on Ronnie O'Sullivan. That will be a spectacle. So he has a couple of reds available, but he's absolutely perfect on this blue if he wants to go into the pack of reds. Wants to try and catch the pink as full as possible. Yeah, he's caught it well, but I think a red's gone in. That's very unfortunate. You always run the risk of that happening. There was no obvious plants in that pack. He caught the pack absolutely perfect, but a red has found the corner pocket.
Yeah, it was a dream split and a nightmare result. The red spread beautifully, but one went in. So Ali Carter then, with the chance now, the red's in play. His only real significant break, that's 61 in the first.
Yeah, Carter doing the right thing here, trying to play for the blue, but he's overran it again. That's a couple of times we've seen him play that shot and gone too far. He wanted to get nicely on the blue and then remove the red by the pink spot, because then he could have played on the pink with it in all open play. But it's gone wrong pretty quickly for Carter. You can see he's fuming with himself. I think the table is definitely just catching him out a little bit. Well, he's done well there. That's a nice recovery shot considering. Although his mood doesn't look to be getting any better, does it? He'd love to be able to pot a red here and play on the black down the rail with that red being over the corner bag, but I'm not sure if he can get there. If you was to watch snooker with no sound and it on mute, you could just look at Carter's body language and know exactly how he's feeling. Usually when he's up and feeling pretty good, he's very brisk and busy round the table, isn't he? And when it's not quite going right, he sort of trudges round. It's almost in slow motion. But he's still at the table and he's still got a chance.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, he doesn't feel he's playing his best, but you've just got to fight in that case. We saw Luca Brecel this morning. The fight went out of him towards the end against Si Jiahui. Lost 6-2. Even at the end, he did that thing where the players in their chair, they take off their bow tie and all that because they think they've lost. And actually, because Si fouled, he only needed 2 snookers, but by then, it was a done deal. They had to shake hands. Phone ringing out.
Again, the cue ball not quite got there for Carter. Played on the 2 reds to left middle. He's now got to take another red, and there's plenty of congestion down this end of the table now. It looks like he's going to be going into the red, closest to the black as well. So he'll have one eye on the pot and one eye on position here. And again, he's landed in no man's land, really. No prizes for guessing what's going on through Carter's mind at the minute. It's just all a bit of a struggle, isn't it? And he's got down pretty quick for this one. This is a big shot. This is very missable. Oh, it's a fantastic pot from Carter, considering.
Yeah, it's a brave shot. Just didn't want the break to end, but not easy.
The prize money is very significant for this event. It's a really serious event coming into, obviously, the world's top 16 players, the 4 highest ranked Chinese players, and then 4 wildcards as well. They're all on money coming here, but the money doubles up at each round now. And that's why there's a lot of pressure. You'll see a lot of emotion because it means so much to the players. They all want to get their hands on this title. £210,000 for the winner and the trophy. It's such a huge event in a fantastic city.
Well, we saw Mark Williams miss an easy pink, which was key to him losing to Judd Trump. We've seen Ali Carter knock in a tough one with the rest. Could that be potentially key to him beating Ding Junhui today? Because had he missed it, it surely was going to be 5-2.
He's had to solve a few problems in this break, hasn't he? And so far, so good for Ali Carter. He's edging close to the winning line in this frame. 4-3, and it's very much game on. It always looked that it could go close, this match. And it's increasingly looking like that's going to become reality.
Well, he needs this red in. He's 48 in front, 51 on, so this is the ball for 4-3. Yeah, it's been a really good visit, this. Ding was unlucky, though, wasn't he, when he went into the reds, off the blue, knocked a red in.
Yeah, I think it will make him feel really good, actually, this visit, because, as I said, there was a few problems to solve. He was dealing with his emotions as well. He's done well. It's been a great visit for Carter, and he's closed the gap. As I say, one thing you'll always get from Ali Carter is he will fight. Wears his heart on his sleeve out there in the arena, and he'll give everything. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, he goes through the full range of emotions. All players do, but some hide it. He just, you could see it on his face, as Stephen said, as the match goes on. But he's really dug deep here, showing once again that determination that he's famed for.
At the start of the match, he was relishing the chance of taking on Ding in his own backyard, but now I think as the game's progressing, he's sort of relishing the challenge of dealing with his own emotions more than the task of Ding. It's can he control himself and can he overcome his own barriers?
Yeah, he can still make a century, so he needs pink and black.
Pretty much finished dead straight. He had to force that pink in, try and just nick a little bit of the pocket. So this black for the ton.
Oh, what a break. What a break from Ali Carter. The early pink with the rest was a key shot, and he kept it going. He's made a century, and he's closed the gap to a single frame. So it's very much game on, with Ding now leading only 4-3. Yeah, it's not just closing to 4-3, it's doing it with a century. That just sends a message to Ding. But what did he do wrong there, really? He's played a great shot to get the reds open off the blue, and a red's gone in the corner. But for that, he could well have gone on to lead 5-2. These things are sent to try us and all that. Remember the winner plays Ronnie O'Sullivan in the quarterfinals. That'll be on Thursday. Tomorrow we got the likes of Mark Allen, Mark Selby, Karen Wilson, the new world champion, and also Sean Murphy taking on John Higgins. Can Higgins get to 1,000 centuries tomorrow for his career? That would be a big moment for him. All of that is to come. Yeah, he was determined, Carter, wasn't he, to make that century. He was a bit straight on the pink, but knocked the black in to make 100 exactly. He made actually 4 at the Championship League. So his career tally now 4-2-3. Ding, of course, he's known for them. He's made 663 in his career. But maybe could do one now because it's become a lot closer. He must have observed Ali Carter's body language and thought he's struggling here. You know, I've got a serious chance to get this match won pretty comfortably. But as it is, A, it could be very close, and B, of course, he's not through yet. The fans here, I'm sure, would love to see him through and set up that dream meeting, really, here in Shanghai with Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's a huge venue, this, the Shanghai Indoor Stadium. The seats go right the way to the back. And been very enthusiastic on both tables. There was a big crowd for Judd Trump, Mark Williams as well. And as you'd expect for Ronnie O'Sullivan earlier today also. As I say, the Shanghai Masters used to be a ranking event, but it's lost none of its prestige becoming an invitation event. You could almost argue it's grown in prestige because you're guaranteed the top players. Chap there in an Oasis t-shirt. Yeah, very enthusiastic, aren't they, as well? They're loving every minute of this. But let's be clear, most of them want to see Ding win. So Ding led 4-1, but it's now 4-3. And Ali Carter's just made 100 exactly in frame 7.
And first chance at a long red for Ali Carter. That type of shot that players practice day in, day out. Looks a natural for the cue ball to find the cushion and out around the back of the black, but he was a mile off that one, wasn't he? Never threatened the pocket.
Well, it was so thin. I thought at one point he might actually collide with them on the way back up. But the cue ball, of course, has kept travelling and travelling.
So Ding just came around the end of this table just to have a little look at the black spot. He can get on the black, but he would be quite low on it. So choosing to take the other red just above the pink. And he's missed it. Missed it by some way and as well. You can see the shake of the head there. That was a big missed opportunity.
There's always something as well about a close match at night. It's 10:10 local time, and there's clearly still quite a bit of mileage in this match yet. It always seems the nerves get a little more frayed in the evenings.
Possible attempt at the cross double there from Ding, knowing that the cue ball was always heading into deep balk. He had the brown available had it had gone in. Well, he's completely misjudged that. I think he's hit the wrong red there. He's caught it much too thick anyway. He had a couple of tempters there, Ding, but chose to try and put Ali in trouble. He knows the importance of this frame. He's seen a 4-1 lead almost disappear. Ali Carter closed the gap to within 1. Very wide open now. Ali's obviously got the momentum. As you say, it just feels a little bit more tense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think right from the start it was one of those matches I think you'd have struggled to be that confident really in A, who was going to win, and B, by what score. To me, it always seemed close as a likely result either way.
Now, Ali has got a chance at attempting a red to right corner here. He can stun across the table for the black into the same pocket. Well, chose against it and chose the safety shot, and he's not made a very good job of it. Yeah, nice spot from Ding. Struck that one well at pace into the middle pocket. Again, the cue ball just kept running, didn't it? These cloths look so fast.
It's worth saying that Ding, who's regarded rightly as a great break builder, has only made 1/2 century in this match, 79 in frame 5. So it really has been sort of bits and pieces, even though 4-1 obviously he was looking the stronger of the two. And he's not made a big break here. Things are turning in this match.
Yeah, you felt that was the shot that was going to get Ding going at this visit. He's missed it, and he's now gifted the chance to Ali Carter. Okay, the reds are sort of covering one another for the time being. The black is available, though. Again, a little bit of a problem to solve, a little bit of a puzzle. But Ali Carter will love seeing Ding missing them because, as I say, he's growing back into this game. You can see with every shot, he's just sort of getting that little strut back, isn't he, around the table. You can see he has that little stomp around the table, does Carter. He's a big presence, very busy. Can be quite intimidating at times as well. And this is a big arena. There's so many people in watching, playing China's greatest ever player in his own back garden. This, for Ali Carter, he'll see this as a massive opportunity. And at 4-1, it was looking very bleak, and all of a sudden, you'd probably make Carter slight favourite now, just from how things have gone.
Yeah, and obviously the Chinese crowd, you can understand them wanting Ding to win, but they're a respectful crowd. You know, there's absolute silence here. Ali Carter's at the table. Of course, he played O'Sullivan in the Masters final at Ali Pali. I mean, that was a bit of a bear pit.
Obviously, Carter last season was pretty much a nearly man, wasn't he? Runner-up twice, 2 semi-finals, 5 quarter-finals. Started this season off well, winning the Championship League. He'd love to continue his run.
That's not Morse code he was doing there, he's just frustrated.
Just checking those floorboards are screwed in properly, and I think they are.
Yeah, I mean, there would have been certainly a red to right middle there, but just having to accept the break's done. He knows Ding's struggling a bit as well, so that's why you've got to be patient and disciplined, even if things go wrong.
Just looked a really uninviting pack of reds beneath the pink there, didn't it? They was all covering one another, and Ali was unable to find a nice angle on his colour to get anything moving, really, so just seemed like the inevitable happened there, that it just ran out. Now, has he left a plant? Ding's having a good look at it. Well, he got nowhere near it, and it's a good job because look at where the reds have gone. He's found the cue ball back to baulk, but he has left the red on to left corner for Ali Carter. And if it's just off straight, it's quite a nice shot to have. He can top this back down the table. Well, he was up so quick, wasn't he? He knew that that was not in, and he has left the red.
Well, it's a good chance, clearly, but there's a lot of tension in the air right now. So let's see how he gets on here. Lost the last 2 frames. Was in early in this one, broke down pretty quickly. Of course, Ding has great experience at the top level, 14 ranking titles, 24 professional titles.
I suppose they both had pretty similar seasons last year as well, didn't they? Both around the £400,000 prize money mark. Neither player lifted a title, but both got very close. You just sense that this is a chance now for Ding to really just, again, re-stamp his authority on this match. He has to make sure he takes all the reds in open play to begin with, give himself a healthy lead. before he even considers looking at the reds that are tied up.
Yeah, they were both undone, weren't they, in big finals by the man that the winner of this match will play, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ali Carter at the Masters, where he played so well all week. As that black creeps in. And Ding, of course, at the UK Championship from 7 each, O'Sullivan was unbelievable. But that last shot just underlines this is very tense right now.
Yeah, his heart would have been in his mouth there, Ding. Very nearly overcut the black. One thing that Ding is blessed with is very good cue ball control, and he needs it here. It's moments like these when the pressure is really on that you need something to fall back on, and that's Ding's strength, his cue ball. His control in tight areas is usually impeccable.
Exactly, you want to just, in this situation, keep things as simple as you can.
At some stage you will need to get one or two of those reds off the side cushion, and he'll probably look to do that in a few moments' time. He'd like to be able to play a little cannon to one of those reds whilst leaving one of the loose reds available as a bit of insurance to land on it, rather than just relying on finishing on the red you've just developed. No, he's got the chance now to promote one red. The cannon to it is important. A half ball flick from in behind would be nice. Well, obviously didn't play the cannon knowing that he was going to leave a thin angle on this blue, so as I say, it's quite thin, but the natural angle is heading down to this top cushion to then get into those reds. Don't take your eye off the blue though. No, he's found the gap.
I mean, it felt harder to do that, to get the cannon.
Well, he's having a look at this red through the gap, and I think it may just squeeze in, but it's a horrible shot to have because you've got to be so accurate. If you miss it, you could bring other reds into play. Oh, what a pot that is from Ding Junhui. How accurate did he have to be there? There was no room for error with that shot, particularly at that pace. If he catches the two reds close together, he misses the red and brings them into play.
Well, it was a good effort, but 37 the lead, 51 on. Didn't quite get in behind the yellow either.
Oh, the double kiss always looked on that shot, didn't it? It was always going to be a danger, but has he had a result? I think Ding can just get through to this red past the black. Ali Carter's praying he can't, but I think he can. Yeah, good pot from Ding. And only needs the pink now. Yeah, well played. It's a good pot. So it was a massive frame, this, in the context of this game. Ding now one away from booking a place and a date with the Shanghai Master, I suppose, Ronnie O'Sullivan in the quarterfinals, although still a job to be done for Ding. Ali Carter will not be giving up. He will not be rolling over. But this frame was huge.
Yeah, I think he's played a good frame because he was put under pressure, not just Carter winning the last two, but Ali Carter can sort of bring that pressure, just his body language, the competitiveness around the table. It always makes it a match, but Ding is just focused on what he's doing.
I think it'll be a feeling of relief more than anything for Ding. He's just sort of stopped the rot, hasn't he? Carter come back. He just needed to regain a foothold in this match, and he's done that.
Yeah, good frame from Ding, and it gets a bit of breathing space again, needing just one more for a place in the quarterfinals. Ali Carter will have to win the last three. It's Ding Junhui leading here in Shanghai by 5 frames to 3. Well, it's not done yet. We've got a potential 3 frames, and certainly if Carter can win the next, then it sets up what could be a thrilling finish for these fans here. It's, what, 10:30 local time? Nobody going anywhere. One man who is going places, Judd Trump. He's through, of course, to the quarterfinals, and will take on Si Jiahui, who he beat in the German Masters final last season. And this was how it finished. He'd already made a century, 112 earlier in the match, and this was the same break. He went in off the last black. They often seem to do this deliberately now, but anyway, who cares? 2 centuries, fine performance. Mark Williams did have his chances. I think he'll be disappointed at some of the unforced errors he made, but that's not Judd Trump's problem. Frankly, as I say, he'll play Si Jiahui. Judd Trump looking good, first match of the season. Off and running here in Shanghai. It's a long way to come, obviously, for the British guys in a big tournament. You don't want to be losing your first match, and he hasn't done. And another big hitter through. Of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan was successful earlier on today as well. And it's an interesting lineup already in the quarterfinals. O'Sullivan, of course, plays the winner of this match, Ding or Carter. We know it's Trump against Si Jiahui. Sean Murphy or John Higgins to play Karen Wilson or Zhou Yulong. And Mark Selby or Cao Jin to play Mark Allen or Pang Zhengzhu. So there's plenty of Chinese representation still in the draw. And plenty of spectators, as you can see, enjoying this pretty tense affair.
Yeah, one game I'm really looking forward to actually is the Kyren Wilson and Zhou Yulong match. Kyren Wilson coming here to the Shanghai Masters as the world champion, taking on Yu Long, who yesterday played some sensational snooker against Barry Hawkins.
So Ali Carter up against it now, 5-3 down. Ding needs one more for victory.
So Ding taking the chance to play back up into baulk. He did toy with the idea of trying to screw in behind the black there, but felt there was more value in playing the safety to baulk. Oh, and Carter's missed the red, and he's missed it to the wrong jaw. Now he needs a bit of luck. And he's had it. That red could have finished anywhere. The cue ball was always coming back to baulk. Oh, what a pot from Ali Carter. And look at where he left the cue ball. Had he missed the red, he wasn't leaving anything easy for Ding. He could just squeeze through and get the pot in line of that red. Played it nicely. So straight away coming down to have a look at the black spot. He wants to try and get on the two reds either side, well, to the right of the black spot as quickly as possible, as that will give full access to the black once it's respotted. Yeah, he's taking the chance to play on them now, knowing that the black is pretty much ready and waiting for him. If he can just get these initial shots right in this break, it's a very good scoring chance for Carter. It's now or never really. Ding one away from victory. He's got to make these visits count.
Yeah, I guess at this point, your mind is focused. You know you've absolutely got to be on the front foot. Doesn't make it easy, but he's going to have to go for it here and try and play his best snooker of the match in this phase of the match.
Yeah, it's very important for Carter to just control the things that he's able to control out there now. He's at the table with a chance, and it's important he keeps close control of his cue ball, because there is red's pretty much spread far and wide here. He doesn't want to do anything daft. And as I say, he's in control of things at the minute because he's at the table. You just feel any mistake he makes, it could be his last, because Ding played a pretty good frame. Obviously there'll be tension, you know, the hardest frame to win is always the one to get over the line, but these guys are some of the best in the world, and when they see that winning line, they go for it.
Yeah, and Ali Carter's got the quality, he's got the class to take out 3 frames, you know, in 3 1 visits. Ding doesn't actually have to do much wrong, does he, to lose this match from here?
No, and it was a really nice initial red from Carter to the right middle. They're not easy, them. He was queuing down on it, cutting back into, well, half a blind pocket really as well. One eye on the cue ball. It was a very nice shot, and it's earned him this chance. This really now one he has to convert. It's hard to really see where it can go wrong, but of course it always can. There's always that outside chance, and that's where your cue ball control is really important in these situations. Make the next shot as easy as possible, because they're all there for him. You know, and a one visit just sends a message as well to Ding, doesn't it? That, okay, you are one away from victory, but if I get the chance, I'm going to kill off the frame. It just adds that little bit more pressure to Ding.
Oh, what a great visit this has been. Just got to continue for a few more pots, so it's going to be 5-4, and it's not just closing the gap, it's how he would have done it. I mean, it's only day 2 of this tournament. We've already seen some brilliant matches, some brilliant snooker played. But you can't beat a close match, can you? And this is turning into one now. So, this pink, as you can see, should make it 5-4 to Ding.
Great stuff from Carter. He's got to play pretty perfect snooker from here on out. But this has been a good start to that comeback. Couldn't have asked for much more than this. As I say, the initial red was superb, and he's had to stand up and take them. You know, we look at things, strengths and weaknesses of players. We talk about Ding's cue ball control, and, you know, what Ali probably or possibly lacks in temperament at times, he certainly makes up for in fight, and his cue action is just impeccable. As players, you're always, again, looking for something to fall back on in the moments where there's a lot of pressure, and Ali Carter's cue action is one of the best we have on the tour. So compact, and nothing can really go wrong with it, which just stands you up well in the big moments.
Yes, there's a well-known British phrase, keep calm and carry on. And in snooker, if you can do the first, then you can do the second. So much of it is about controlling your emotions. And Ali Carter will admit to you freely that that's been a struggle over the years. But in this scenario, 5-3 down to the great Ding Junhui, he knew he had to focus. And he's certainly done that in this frame. This has been a brilliant break.
The thing he does so well is like he's just got a switch in him, hasn't he, where he can just sort of turn on the intensity and you can just see in his eyes. It's been a beautiful break, a second century of the match for Ali Carter, and it's come at the perfect time.
Yeah, and this Shanghai crowd warmly applauding it.
It's not easy to do when your back's up against the wall to just turn that intensity back on and just refine the zone they always talk about. It's a very difficult place to get into. Ali Carter, I feel, is very good at being able to do that. But as good as this break has been, it only wins you one frame.
But what a way to win the frame. 107 from Ali Carter, his second century, fighting back. Ding still one from victory. But this now very much in the balance. Ding leads 5-4. Yeah, it's warming up nicely as we approach the potential last two frames. Ding obviously hoping for just one more. You can see some of the words there we associate with snooker. I'm not sure trickery is an appropriate one, to be honest with you. I don't think whoever designed that really understands what that means. Anyway, hopefully someone will address that. We've got more important things to think about, which is the rest of this match. But of course, it's been a packed day of snooker already. Ronnie O'Sullivan beat Zhao Jinhao earlier 6-1. He's just 16, very raw, very talented. I'm sure he'll improve as the years go on. Si Jiahui, of course, defeated Luca Brissell 6-2. An important win, really, because, of course, the only other time they played was that semi-final at the Crucible last year. We know what happened there. Si will now play Judd Trump. He beat Mark Williams 6-2. Of course, Ding is 5-4 up and Ali Carter. So Ding 5, Carter 4. Carter's made 107 to win frame 9. Can Ding get over the line in this frame, or are we going to a decider? Can Carter remain calm and focused as he was there? Completely in the zone, wasn't he, in that last frame?
Ding will be very wary of what he's just seen from Ali Carter. He doesn't want to make any silly mistakes early on in this frame. He wants to try and make Carter have to work for his chance, try and carve a chance out. And that's not a good one. He's played an attacking safety shot there and he's pushed a red over the right corner. I think there's just a trace of angle on this red, so Dean can play this with some pace and get the cue ball back up the table if he wishes. Yeah, good pot. Would have loved the cue ball to have just held up there and finished nice on the blue to middle, but he's gone a touch too far, so may have to take the yellow round the angles. Blue is very thin. Well, it was thin and he had no real control over where the cue ball was going. It was always heading towards that pack with the pink and he's missed the blue. And he's potted the black as well. All sorts of things happening on that shot. The main thing is he's missed the blue. But in all fairness, look at where the cue ball's finished. This is a stinker for Ali Carter. Not nice cueing from the jaws of the pocket. I suppose Ali would have preferred that cue ball to probably go in the pocket. How do you fancy these to middle? Yeah, there's a time and a place, isn't there? And that wasn't the time for Ali Carter. It was such a tough red to middle that he weighed up the value, trying to just keep things tight. Things looking at playing safe off the third red from the left, but in doing so will surely, unless he gets a very good cue ball, will leave a tempter for Ali Carter into that left corner pocket. There you see, he's just having a little look at where he may leave the cue ball, and he doesn't even want to leave Ali a sniff of a chance. It's tough to play it very thin as well because the blue's a big ball where it is. He needs a good cue ball and he needs cover and he's not going to get it. And that was always the danger. That line he was trying to play there looked always like he was going to leave a tempter for Ali. Good pot from Carter, and he's somehow navigated his way through all that traffic, and he's landed in, well, a really awkward position actually, because how thin is this blue?
It's not a smile of happiness. It's one of kind of slight disbelief that he's finished there, but yeah, it's thin, but still has a chance at knocking it in. In it goes.
Oh, it's a very nice pot from Ali Carter. They're so tough, them. When you're cutting back into a blind bag, you're just trying to catch the paintwork of it, knowing that the cue ball's heading into danger. Fantastic pot from Carter.
Yeah, and then it's just get me on a red, which he's on, so some sort of scoring chance early here in frame 10 as he attempts to take us the distance. We did have a decider earlier. Pang Junzhu beat Gary Wilson 6-5.
would have liked a little bit more angle on this pink to just get out into the open a bit better. He may have to play this with a little bit of pace. Would have loved to have been on the red just to the right and beneath the pink there. That would have freed the pink up into 2 pockets at least. May still have that chance. Well, the pink actually pots into 2 already, so if he can find a couple of good positional shots here, he could be away. The black's a little bit tied up, but it's not too bad where it is. There's enough reds in open play here. He's just steadying himself, isn't he? Just taking a moment, just trying to work it all out. He's got options, it's just about selecting the correct one. Oh, the worst possible kiss for Carter. Again, he's landed in that one awkward spot. He played a couple of big shots there. The black was very missable with the rest. Just crept in off the far jaw, didn't it? And was able to just catch the edge of that red. So again, decision time. You can see the green to pump it round the angles, back down for the reds. Yeah, nice pot.
Well, what an adventure this has been already. But he just seems to have that real determination now, even if things are tricky. I mean, a couple of moments ago, he had that black with the rest, which was not an easy shot at all, but he didn't make it into an event. Just got down and knocked it in.
Yeah, it was quite commendable, wasn't it? And especially that green as well, because as I say, he was in no man's land really. And then when you're faced with that sort of shot, you're almost thinking about the previous one, or had I had not got that little cannon to the red, or, you know, all these things can go through your head as a player. He just got down and knocked it in. And now back in prime position. And this now, a fantastic opportunity, Ali Carter, to take us the distance. One we predicted would go close, and it's looking increasingly likely it's going to be a one-frame shootout for a place in the quarter-finals.
Well, it's a huge crowd here, and though many are Ding fans, they're also first and foremost snooker fans, and they'll appreciate the quality of this display from Carter the last frame and a half.
Yeah, and it's been one of them games as well where you just feel that regardless of who comes out on top, whoever it may be, that there may be a little reaction after this one. It's been nip and tuck the whole way. Ali Carter has come back from a big deficit. He's battled very hard, as he always does. And now he's got the balls at his mercy. He's played his best snooker at the back end of this game, the business end of this match, which is, again, in itself another pleasing thing to see as a player. Producing your best snooker when you're under the utmost pressure, when it matters most. In the last 4 frames, he's had a couple of centuries and this visit. Been very impressive from Carter.
Well, this black to lead by 69 with 67 on the table. So he's done half of the job, which is to force the decider. Now the question is, of course, can he win it? And always the difference in the decider when you fought back in a match is it becomes the first time you can actually win it. So the pressure does transfer a little, but if you can carry on in this vein, you're going to take some stopping.
And it was the safety shot that let Carter in from Ding, wasn't it? It always looked like he was going to be leaving tempters. Ding, I don't think himself liked the safety shot, and it's cost him.
I think he must have hit the pink or something there.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he's called a foul on the pink, yeah.
Well, is Ding going to come back here? Just trying to work out what the score is. Well, he needs 6 points on his score here. Yeah, he needs. He wouldn't have carried on if he was 75 behind, but yeah, he's just trying to get them to put the points on because it makes a big difference.
Yeah, he's caught the pink on the way through to the red, hasn't he, Carter? He's fuming with himself, actually, because he didn't want Ding to even come back to the table here. We just saw him in the corner of the screen there just slam his water bottle down. And the scores are still not correct, though.
No, I mean, he's 61 behind, isn't he, with 51 on? That should be the position. Needs another 6 on that score. Yeah, it's just sort of stopped his serene progress towards 5 each. He's still really annoyed. This is what happened.
To be fair, that was quite a big misjudgment from Carter because there was so much room for that red. I suppose he'll be delighted to have not come back to the table and found himself in a snooker.
Well, that should be that. He indeed concedes. Well, Ali Carter, despite that mishap, has put together 2 really good frames. And he's levelled the match at 5 each. So we're going to have a deciding frame finish to see who goes through to the quarterfinals to face Ronnie O'Sullivan. Well, I'm not saying there was a scoring mix-up there, but when he fouled there, a point came off his score. But anyway, not to worry. The frame is done. The pressure gets to everyone at this time of night. It's 11 o'clock local time. And, well, it's a final frame shootout, as I say, to decide things. The last meeting they had went to a decider. There was only a best of 7 in Saudi Arabia in the invitation event. Carter did win that one 4-3. There was a 9-8 back at the UK Championship that Ding won back in 2009. So Zhu Ying sets the balls up one last time, and we prepare for this deciding frame finish. Who's going to prevail, Ding Junhui or Ali Carter? It's all on this one. There's the handshake, and there's the cheer. Ali Carter, to get us underway, he's just put together 2 excellent frames, breaks of 107 and 69.
Yeah, and although Ding had a big lead in this match, 4-1 up, he's not really produced the magical snooker that we can quite often expect from him. It was a pretty scrappy start to the evening. But Ali Carter has fought back ferociously, but that's a fantastic opening red from Ding Junhui. And listen to the roar. Yeah, and played a nice cannon there as well to just push another red into play. He was always going to be on this red at the back of the pack. Now, if he's straight enough on this red, he could even leave himself an angle on the black to go into the pack again. Well, possibly just come up a little bit straight now, so 3 reds in open play for him. What an opening red that was from Ding.
Yes, and there's no doubt he's got the quality. We know that to take it out in one visit, despite losing the last 2. Again, I said, you know, when Carter was 5-3 down, it cleared the mind, it focused him, he knew what he had to do. Well, the same applies now at 5-all, obviously. It's all on this frame. No second chances for Ding.
So we've seen a pack split from Ding go wrong already today. And he's looking at this again. He's got the angle on the blue. And he's just studying the pack of reds now, looking at every possibility of even the chance of a red running close to the corner pocket. Cannot afford the same mistake, the same misfortune. He's took the chance. He's not quite caught the pack as full as he would have liked, but my goodness me, what a result he's had.
But that's the irony, isn't it? In that previous frame, he caught them beautifully and was unlucky. Here he didn't catch them well and has been a bit fortunate to land on that one.
So the first frame and match-winning chance falls to the main man here in China, Ding Junhui, at the table with the reds in a glorious position. It's just about holding yourself together now. He's got a number of reds available to play for. But as we mentioned, and we bang this drum all the time, Ding's cue ball control is usually exceptional. And this is where he relies so heavily on that. The nerves will be jangling though, make no mistake. He'll be feeling it out there. Big occasion, massive event.
Yeah, he knows that he's always under scrutiny here in China. He gets the support, which is great, but it's the expectation as well. And he, of course, always wants to deliver. And he has done many times in Chinese events.
It's also the mental strength in this scenario. He's had to pretty much pick himself off the canvas from the Carter comeback. 108 and 107, sorry, and 69 in the previous 2 frames from Carter, and Ding's now just got to steady that, keep himself as focused as possible.
Well as Ali Carter's played in the last 2 frames, is he going to get another chance here? He'll be concerned for sure in his seat.
To be fair, he's hit the first red so sweet that he kind of deserved a good split on the pack. He didn't catch them how he would have liked, but it finished up absolutely spot on for him. But the opening red was just delicious, wasn't it? He just stroked it in from the baulk cushion. Ali Carter can only sit there and hope that Ding makes a mistake. There's nothing he can do now. That's just how painful this game can be at times. It doesn't matter how well you've played to get yourself back into the match. Your opponent can just knock in the opening ball and you could just sit it out. It's completely out of Carter's control.
Exactly, yeah. Ronnie O'Sullivan earlier was talking about last week he went to watch Novak Djokovic at Wimbledon. At least in tennis, you can try and knock the ball back over the net. Here, you've just got to sit and hope that some misfortune befalls your opponent at the table.
So he's eyeing up the plant here, the 2 reds, right in amongst that cluster. They're pretty dead set, as you can see, although there is a little bit of a gap between them, and he's not right behind it. Oh, and it very nearly made the difference, didn't he? It just crept in off the jaw, but he's absolutely perfect, and now Ding a couple of balls away from seeing out this match, and what a visit this has been so far.
Yeah, that plant feels like the winning shot. It's not quite, but just 2 more pots should see him home. And you can't really win a match better than this, can you? 1 visit, a brilliant visit right from the first shot. This is the ball that should send him into the quarterfinals. There might be a bit of a cheer if this goes in. The bow tie's coming off. What did he do wrong there, Ali Carter, in the end? Played so well from 5-3 down.
Yeah, it's been a valiant effort, hasn't it, from the captain, but Ding has just produced some magical snooker here in this deciding frame. That opening red, good enough to win any frame, and it's won him the match. Fantastic stuff from the Dragon. Let's see a total clearance now. What a way to cap off this game. It's been so intriguing throughout. Very difficult to predict.
Yes, and it sets up on Thursday night a blockbuster quarter-final. The biggest player in Chinese snooker against the biggest player in world snooker. Ding Junhui against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
There was a number of seasons, wasn't there, where Ding sort of just fell out the rankings, if you like. He dropped down a bit, but we all knew how good he still was. And he's showing us exactly that here. He really is one of the best players to have ever picked up a snooker cue. Back where he belongs amongst the game's elite.
Well, the pink, is it in? Is it in? They're willing it in, not to be 95 though, 1 visit. You can understand Ali Carter being disappointed. He just didn't get a look in the decider. But the crowd on their feet, look at that. Absolutely delighted to see their man, Ding Junhui, still #1, of course, in China, into the quarterfinals. And what an atmosphere we're going to have on Thursday night when he takes on the 7 times world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan. That will be some occasion. Ding Junhui has beaten Ali